What are you still doing in bed? Get up! Get up, get up!
With the swiftness of a storm, the comforting blankets that had been covering Whitney's face and body were torn off. A blinding assault of sunlight blasted her in the face, and Whitney recoiled back in absolute revulsion.
Oh no, you are not going to laze about on my watch. There is so much to do, and little time to do it. You only have 1 week to enjoy before summer ends.
It's so early. Can't we do it later?
No. Get your butt out of bed so we can get our day started.
Whitney opened her eyes and allowed her vision to adjust to the brightness of the room. She glanced up at Sabrina, who stood over her with her hands on her hips. She was slightly shorter than Whitney by a couple of inches, and she had thick black hair, a pair of piercing brown eyes, and a wide mouth that gifted her with warm smiles or disapproving frowns. At the moment, Sabrina was frowning. Today she wore a denim skirt, a pair of black and white striped leggings, a white plastic belt, a rock and roll t-shirt, and a pair of black leather boots.
But Brina, I just got out of the hospital. Can't I have just 1 day?
No, you can't. Now get up. I have a full, fun day planned for the both of us. I'm going downstairs, so you'd better be downstairs and ready within 5 minutes. Otherwise, I'm getting your mom to come get you.
Fine, I'll get up.
Whitney rolled over and got out of bed. She glanced in the mirror as Sabrina, her very best friend in the world, moved to step in the doorway. Whitney's light brown, almost reddish hair was to her shoulders, although she had a case of the dreaded bedhead. She had a lighter skin tone with freckles all over her body and a pair of light green eyes.
So, where are we going anyway?
Can't tell you. It's a surprise.
Can you at least give me a hint? Should I wear something comfortable or something cute?
Somewhere in the middle. But leaning heavily into comfortable over cute. You always look cute anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Now, get ready!
Slowly and surely, Whitney got dressed into a mostly comfortable but still cute outfit. She wore a pair of light purple leggings, a light blue cloth skirt, and a light purple long-sleeved knit that matched her leggings. She also wore a pair of brown boots with fuzzy wool on the insides of the boots. As Whitney walked downstairs, the delicious aroma of bacon, eggs, and pancakes caressed the insides of her nose. She entered into her dining room, where her little brother Noah, Sabrina, her father, and mother sat. Her father was reading news from his smartphone, but he glanced up and smiled at his daughter. Noah was playing his handheld game console, and his attention was swept up in whatever was on the screen.
Morning, darling. How did you sleep?
Oh, pretty good. I would have slept longer if someone would have let me.
Yeah, you'll thank me later. I have some great things planned for us.
Make sure you eat. Sabrina here told me where you all are going today. Honey,
Yeah, Mom?
I just wanted to tell you how proud of you I am. You're an amazing young woman, and I am so blessed to be your mom.
Jeez. Where did that come from? Thanks, Mom. I love you all a bunch.
We love you too. Now, eat up.
Yes, Mom. Look! It's so cute! Oh my god, I can't believe that our zoo is hosting real-life pandas!
I know, right? You said you always wanted to see them. They are your favorite animals, right?
Yes, they are.
Whitney and Sabrina leaned on the railing beside the giant panda enclosure. A fairly large space had been dedicated to the visiting pandas, and they had plenty of space to play, lounge, or romp around in. There were 5 adult pandas of various sizes within the enclosure, and 4 baby pandas playing in front of where Sabrina and Whitney stood.
This is so cool. Thank you for surprising me with this. You know, it's funny. I totally wanted to see real pandas before, but I never had the opportunity. The closest zoo that had some were like 500 miles away. Seeing them in flesh, it just really hits here, you know?
Whitney tapped the spot over her heart with her balled fist.
Yeah, I totally get it. None of us know how long we actually have in life, so it's important to do things we want to, so we won't have any regrets in the end. Sometimes, things are beyond our control. Like you with the pandas. Or how some young people die before they have a chance to live.
Aw, Sabrina. That's so sad. But you're right. So, about my accident earlier this spring. I remember watching as that semi came towards our car, and I couldn't help but think, this is it. My life is over. I was so scared.
What were you scared of?
Well, a lot of things, really. I was afraid of not really knowing what comes after this. I was afraid I'd never see my family again. I was afraid that I never really did anything aside from go to school and be a normal, boring girl. I was always too scared to try out for plays or go out for sports or travel around to the spots around the city I wanted to see. And you know what I always told myself?
That you have time to do it later? That things will just work out in the end and you'll eventually get to do the things you wanted to someday?
Yes, right? That's exactly it. But you're right. We never know how much or how little time we have left. I'm so glad we're best friends and that we get to spend time together like this. I wonder what we're gonna be like when we're 80.
When we're old and wrinkly? I'm sure at 80, we'd have a whole lifetime of adventures to reminisce over. Enough sad talk. Let's just focus on the rest of the week and making it as memorable as possible. Okay?
Okay. So, what else do you have planned today?
Well, there are still a ton of animals to look at. We could spend the rest of the day here and then grab dinner somewhere.
Ooh, how about we go for some Indian food? I've been dying for some naan bread.
Sure, sounds great to me. What do you want to do tomorrow?
Is Goreface Prom still in theaters? I really wanted to see it, and I'm dying to see a good horror movie. Pun intended.
You and puns. So how about after the zoo, we rollerblade around some of the bike trails? Loser has to pay for dinner tonight.
Oh, you're going down!
The brilliant sun was getting even closer now, and radiant sparkles glistened on the surface of the ocean. The sound of the tide rolling in sent chilling ripples down Whitney's spine, and she grinned from ear to ear. A slight sliver of icy awareness danced in her insides, but Whitney batted it away. For now, she just wanted to bask in this moment, with the best friend she could have ever had. The same friend who went out of her way to ensure that this week was the best one it could have been. There Whitney sat on the beach, her toes buried in the sand, and yet she couldn't help but think about certain things. Memories flashed in her mind's eye, but to hide her contemplation, she stared directly into the unbroken horizon. From the corner of her eye, Whitney noticed Sabrina also staring into the distance. Her face was locked in a small, disconcerting frown, and her eyes were a little wet. Poor Sabrina. Whitney swallowed a little, if only to get the excess moisture from her mouth. Every time she tried to open her mouth to speak, to ask questions, the words seemed to die on her tongue.
This is going to be one beautiful sunset, isn't it?
It really is. This whole week has been amazing. The movie was so scary. The Spanish restaurant you chose was so much better than I expected. and we got to see all our friends yesterday. This has been the best week ever. The best summer I've ever had.
Kathy can be such a blabbermouth, you know? She just goes on and on about her horses.
Yeah, but that's one of the most beautiful things I love about her. She's so passionate about her animals. That she has dedicated her life to that great love. It's admirable. What would you do with your life if you could do anything?
Anything? Huh. I guess I would want to go to college and study meteorology.
Wait, you'd want to be a weather person? Like on the news?
Yeah, I was always really fascinated by it, you know? Even as a kid. Do you remember the weather gal that was on Channel 12 Morning Weather? She was so cool.
What did you admire about her?
Oh, she was always smiling. And there was this unshakable confidence in her eyes. Whenever she gave the news about the weather, no matter what it was, she was always warm and comforting.
And so that's the kind of person you wanted to grow up to be.
Yeah, that's exactly the kind of person I wanted to be. And that's what I'll do. I'll go to college and be just like her. And what about you? What would you like to do?
For a brief moment, Whitney smiled broadly and stared as the sun began melting into the sea. The sky was quite dark, perhaps darker than most days at sunset.
I think I want to be a foreign ambassador or something. I love traveling and learning about new cultures. I think I would have liked to do that with my life.
You can if you really want to. I believe in you.
Hey, Brina, can I ask you something?
Sure. What's up? You can ask me anything.
A quivering storm whirled within Whitney, and she let her eyes fall into the darker parts of the sea, where the shadows had started to loom across its surface. The light was fading a little quicker, but the brilliant oranges still lit up the horizon.
You really are the best friend I could ever have. I mean, you did so much for me this week. You made a lot of wonderful memories.
We sure did. So what's your question?
Brina? Did you die?
A what? What makes you ask that?
I remembered some stuff yesterday when we were hanging out with our friends. Flashes of things. And that night, I remembered attending your funeral.
The smile fell from Sabrina's face, and she averted her eyes away from Whitney. Tears started trailing down her cheeks, and she sniffled a little. Whitney wrapped Sabrina in a hug and sat beside her.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make you cry. You were my best friend when we were little kids. And I hated having to grow up without you.
You were my best friend. I didn't want to leave you or my family, but I just got sick.
What's going on, Brina? Why have we been spending all week together? Don't get me wrong. I love you, and I loved our time together. But is something wrong with you? Or is something wrong with me?
Sabrina's eyes grew more wet, and the tears came in more rapid intervals. The sky was very dark now, and there weren't any stars out. The last bits of sunlight were fading.
I didn't survive the accident, did I?
It's complicated. You survived, but you've been in a coma this whole time. And you're dying.
Like, right now?
Yes. Like, right now. Right now. I just wanted to extend your final moments so you could have the best summer ever. You know? It's not fair. You didn't deserve to die young.
Brina, what do you mean you extended my final moments?
When I died, my grandma was waiting for me. I don't know the specifics, but she had asked God, or whoever, if she could be my guardian angel and be the person to greet me and escort me to heaven, or whatever comes next. And well, I kinda,
Brina, have you been waiting for me this whole time?
Well, of course. You're my best friend. I didn't want you to face this alone. When I was made your guardian angel, I found out how it happened. It was so unfair, especially because you were looking forward to summer. There were so many things you wanted to do.
Is my family okay? Did anyone else?
No, they're all alive and well. You've been in a coma for 2 years. And, well, now it's finally time. I'm so sorry, Whitney. I'm so sorry I couldn't give you more time. I wish I could have grown up with you, and went to high school with you, and made real memories.
Whitney hugged Sabrina tightly.
We did make real memories. This week has been the best summer of my life. Don't doubt for a moment that you are my best friend ever. I'm sorry that you were robbed of the life you deserved.
The sand beneath them had faded, and Sabrina and Whitney crouched down in a field of vast blackness.
So what happens now?
I don't know. But whatever it is, we'll face it together.
I really am lucky to have you as my best friend.
Golden light appeared in the distance, and it slowly expanded to surround them completely. When the light faded, Whitney and Sabrina stood upon a beautiful beach with the whitest sand that Whitney had ever seen. The ocean that washed upon the shore was the clearest blue, and the sky above them was the breadth of the universe in all of its glory. Galaxies dotted the sky, not just stars. A lush and beautiful forest was to their right, and a paved path made with light brown stone tiles led deeper into the forest.
And where do you think that goes?
I guess we'll find out, won't we? Thank you for waiting for me.
Of course. That's what best friends are for.
And together, Sabrina and Whitney walked side by side into paradise.